Steve here from Steve Ailey Survival. Just wanted to have a chat today about some knots. So we've all probably been there. You go camping or out in the woods or wherever you might use cordage, string, whatever you want to call it, and you come to use it, and something like that in there, and you stood there for ages trying to undo this. You end up just cutting it off. If you're in a survival situation, that might be all you've got. You might not have a big ball of string or a big reel of paracord, so you've got to look after it. You need to use correct knots for the correct purposes to maximise your resources for your situation. So what I'm going to talk about is just a couple of knots in this video. I'll do another video soon showing a few more. Just a few knots that I use that kind of makes life easy in the long run, because they're easy to undo, they're easy to tie. If you've got maybe injured hands or it's cold, it's wet, dexterity is limited. So a couple of knots that just make life a little bit easier. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, and this one we're going to have a look at is called the Reef Knot. No doubt you've seen this one before, but just to go through it, particularly good for joining cordage that is of an equal length, equal diameter, so the same thickness. Also quite useful in medical applications because it's a knot that sits flat, so it's quite comfortable for when you're maybe tying a triangular bandage, etc. So the way we're going to tie it then, we've got the two ends of the cordage there. We're going to go left over the top of the right one and underneath, and then right over the top of left and underneath, and then pull it tight. You'll notice that it's a flat knot and it looks symmetrical. Okay, you can push from either end and you can see just how easy it is to undo. Yeah, and two pieces of cordage the same diameter joined together, that's not going to move. Even when it's been pulled super tight, it just slips back open again if you push it in the right direction. Easy as that. Okay, reasonably simple one. This one's called the figure of 8 knot. I use this to make a stop on the end, so if I don't want a piece of cordage to slip through somewhere, I'll use this to make a chunky old knot on the end there, so it's not going to move. Okay, and all we do, we take it round the front, then around the back, and then through. You see why it's called a figure of 8 knot? And that's it. Okay, figure of 8. Super simple, super useful. Is if we tie it into a bight, we get a figure of 8 loop, which is a loop in the cordage there on a figure of 8, and that is bomb-proof. That's not going to move. Used in climbing quite a lot because it's so reliable. You can tie a re-threaded figure of 8, but we'll look into that maybe at a later date. Easy to undo, even when it's been put under tension. Called a clove hitch. Now this is used for securing cordage to something such as a log or a timber frame for a shelter, etc. And it's a really good knot to use for if you're using natural cordage such as pine roots, because it doesn't have any sharp kinks or bends in the actual knot, so it doesn't put the cordage under any undue stress. We're just going to use nylon braided cord for this demonstration, and this is how it's tied. So firstly we go over the bar or the timber, whatever we're going to use, and then we go over again, but crossing over, so we've got that sort of X shape there. Then all it's going to do is pass underneath the 2 pieces that we've already got on there, and then pull through. Okay, and then that pull tight, nice and strong. It's just basically like an anchor, so you can start then lashing or whatever you're going to use that particular piece of wood for. Hope you've enjoyed having a look at a few knots. They're super simple, super easy to tie, super easy to undo, looks after your cordage a lot better, and enables you to live to fight another day. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe. Please leave comments if you want to see something else, another video on something ideally survival related. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll do my very best. Thank you.